What is good, cutted people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam outing Travis Scott for using ghostwriters, because I myself am actually one of them. Y'all may not know this, but at exactly 52 seconds in one of Travis's most popular songs titled Butterfly Effect, I wrote the "It's lit" ad-lib. If you're watching this, Trav, I'll accept my payment in the form of a check or Venmo. No rush though, because the way my checking account works, it's like you know the deal. But in related news, Twitter has attempted to expose another one of Travis Scott's quote ghostwriters after a couple reference tracks from Astroworld supposedly leaked this past week. And while some of these songwriters and reference tracks might actually be real, fans have definitely gotten the wrong idea about the whole situation. For one, Travis doesn't even technically have any ghostwriters per se by its pure definition, and additionally, some of the leaked reference tracks have been confirmed fake by other prominent artists involved with the very same songs. So in today's video, I'll essentially be setting the record straight as to what exactly the leaked reference tracks for Travis Scott's Astroworld album prove, as well as explaining in a more broad sense Travis Scott's role as an artist and his creation process, aka the truth about Travis Scott's ghostwriters. Let's talk about it. Okay, so as we briefly discussed in the intro, a few alleged reference tracks utilized in the creation of Astroworld leaked in the past week, causing a rather large controversy in the Travis Scott fandom due to the fact that the reference tracks kind of expose that Travis doesn't write his songs, at least all of them. More specifically, 2 days ago, an account on Twitter posted an alleged Sicko Mode reference track, arguably one of Travis Scott's biggest songs due to the Sway Lee and, more significantly, Drake features, I might add, except the beginning of Travis's verse with the same or very similar words were in fact rapped by another rapper signed to Good Music named Cyhi the Prynce.
www.thesource.to Viper.
The account that posted the reference track captioned the tweet, "Word around the street is that Cyhi the Prynce single-handedly wrote most of Travis Scott's hit songs off of Astroworld. Some of his Astroworld reference tracks leaked. This one is for Sicko Mode." Now, while everything Squirt Reynolds said in the tweet may be true, technically, the information was greatly exaggerated and taken completely out of context once it spread around social media on many other accounts, but we'll leave all the analysis for a later section in the video, since at least one more Astroworld reference track from Cyhi the Prynce allegedly leaked as well. For the original poster of the Sicko Mode reference track leak added another tweet onto the thread stating "another one for Coffee Bean" and attached the corresponding audio file from Astroworld.
www.thesource.to Viper.
And again, expectedly, due to the leaks, Travis Scott fans and casual hip-hop listeners alike were shocked to discover this new information, especially when other narratives based upon assumptions branched off from the original post, including accusations directed towards Travis Scott using ghostwriters for all of his music, along with questioning his actual overall involvement in creating music in general. However, as we discussed in the intro, this new information may not be all what it seemed at first glance. In fact, some of it is simply just not true. Firstly, I just want to get the completely proven false information out of the way, since it doesn't really need any explanation after the evidence is presented. For in regards to the Coffee Bean track on Astroworld that we just mentioned, Travis Scott's literal producer of the song 1985 cleared the air on what really went down behind the scenes in recording that track specifically, and that he quote tweeted this alleged leaked reference track simply stating, "Lies, he wrote Coffee Bean as soon as I played the beat, wrote it in front of me." Obviously referring to Travis Scott writing his own song Coffee Bean. I mean, honestly, this song sounded chopped up and not even real in the first place, but this also hinders the original poster's argument from the word on the street that Travis hires songwriters for most of the Astroworld album, since that's already one song that's proven to be solely or mostly La Flame. Granted though, every other song could have been written by Travis's sweatshop, and we would have no idea. Or in fact, maybe we would. For contrary to popular belief, it's actually no secret that Travis Scott hires songwriters for most of the music he releases, at least for his latest studio projects, because there are plenty of writers listed in the public credits of all the songs that involved other people, and these writers actually receive a percentage royalty of each song they're involved in that eventually releases, as with many large artists nowadays, because that's how the music business works. Actually, all business for that matter. The owner of the business, aka Travis Scott, hires, not every time but a lot of the time, the best specialists in each field, in this case the best songwriters, producers, engineers, video directors, editors, merch designers, literally anything you can think of to create the best overall product and or experience. And Travis Scott or the business is simply the forefront of the brand. Now, don't think for 1 second that Travis Scott is not involved in the process whatsoever though, because he definitely is. However, his major role is he's simply the executive producer of it all, essentially meaning that he creates the big picture for each stage in the process to base their projects off of. For example, during the conception of the whole Astroworld idea, I'm not too knowledgeable of the history of the album off the top of my head, but likely he had a certain idea of what it would sound like production-wise, singing, rapping, etc., as well as the type of imagery for the cover art and music videos, trailers, all the way down to the aesthetic of the merch. Travis hires all the right people that can execute this large plan that cannot possibly be done by one person, I might add, and he markets it at the final stages under his brand and following so that everyone can make money off of it, for if he wasn't there, all the people involved in the whole project could not make as much money as they do. And even with so much involvement from other people, this is still very much his project and brand though, not to be confused with ghostwriting or anything of the sort as many rumors have been spreading in the past couple of days. For ghostwriters by definition are uncredited songwriters that typically receive an upfront flat fee rather than the percentage royalties that we mentioned earlier on in the video. Not to mention, ghostwriters in addition to being uncredited also do not receive any awards nor accolades if the product or song they worked on receives said honor. And if you don't believe me, take the info from one of the most credible sources in the game, DJ Booth, known VP of Content Operations and Artist Services at Audiomack, who spoke out on the situation clarifying what exactly Travis Scott does, and the ghostwriters allegations are simply false. He explicitly said, Twitter is trying to out Travis Scott for using Cyhi as a ghostwriter, but here's the thing, Cyhi is credited as a writer. He can't be a ghost when it's out in the open. Travis, like his mentor Kanye, has been working with writers his entire career. Whether they're writing hooks or verses, ghostwriters are not officially credited as songwriters and therefore ineligible for any awards. Usually they only receive a one-time payment for their services, not a share of the song's publishing. Big difference. The listening public by and large doesn't understand how songs are made at a Travis Scott artist level. Travis could have written 95% of the song, handed it off to Cyhi for minor improvements, and then Cyhi created this reference track for Travis as a guide, which could very likely be true regarding Travis writing 95% of the song, because the leaked reference track was literally 11 seconds, actually less technically speaking, because the beginning was still Sway Lee's chorus/bridge of the song. Also, Travis is listed as the primary songwriter in the credits, which from my knowledge should mean he wrote a majority of the song compared to the others involved. But to continue, a fan asks, so what is it exactly that he does? A pretty fair question given the new information that he doesn't necessarily write or produce his songs. And DJ Booth responds, it's best to think of Travis Scott not as a rapper or beat maker, but as an executive producer who is an incredible live performer. Travis is a visionary, an A&R with an incredible ear for arrangements. Keep in mind too, he's only 28, he's still learning, growing as a creative. Essentially reiterating what I explained earlier, except a bit more detailed, in that Travis may not necessarily individually create any of the pieces of the music or videos anymore, although I'm almost positive he still gets involved at least sometimes in the songwriting, production, and engineering, as we've seen via the snippets of him creating a beat from scratch on his Instagram live sessions. However, he does have the most important role on the team of all, which is the leader and visionary of the brand. The beat makers and songwriters would have no guidance as to what type of music to make without Travis in the cut inspiring the whole concept. Otherwise, the Astroworld album wouldn't be as critically acclaimed as it has already been. So all in all, Travis Scott does not have ghostwriters, as he publicly credits them all, and he is still very likely involved in the process of all of his products, music-wise, videos, and everything that his brand releases. So if your main concern was supporting an artist that isn't necessarily behind the scenes creating everything that you actually love from that person, then this is not the case whatsoever. Travis is still completely behind the brand at the forefront. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam coming out of the closet as a ghostwriter for many rappers. Let me know in the comments if you think rappers should write all their songs, or you just want good music and you don't care who else is involved. Make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest hip-hop news, drama, and analysis videos, as well as to follow me on all my socials in the description, or join the Bob Gang if you with it, including checking out my new second channel centered around non-hip-hop topics that will be posting daily as well. Link in description and pinned comment. Peace out, cut people. No saying.